Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, they had another presser today. I didn't even realize they were having a presser today, but we got the opportunity to see the presser, and I thought it was interesting. There are going to be a number of things that we're going to talk about relative to that presser, and we're going to talk about them actually today around 4 or 4:30 Eastern Standard Time for our live stream. So make sure that you guys transition from this video over to the live stream because we're about to do our thing. But interesting stuff, Jay. Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford, the second press conference. One of the things that I'm going to say about the press conference that I actually like is that they get straight to the point. None of that fluff, none of all these long introductions, not a 1,000 people coming up there. Turkey Al-Sheikh had his opener. Dana White came and said something. Max Kellerman had a couple of words, and then the questions came. And that's what I want to see. I want to see people get straight to the point. Now, one of the things that I thought was very interesting, and again, we're going to talk about a number of these different topics relative to this press conference, because I want to give my thoughts specifically on the press conference and what I saw there. And I know you want to do the same, Jay. We're going to do that on our live stream today, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you go and check that out. But Jay, here's the thing that's interesting to me about that situation. They talked about it, and I think it was Max Kellerman that was mentioning this. How is Terence Crawford going to attack Canelo Alvarez, right? And Terence Crawford made this comment in regards to he's not going to be running. The only running he's going to be doing is right upside Canelo Alvarez's head, which was interesting. And then Canelo, he said, I don't know how he's going to try to fight me. We'll see when we get in the ring. But then he made a call to action, essentially, as it relates to Terence Crawford and Turkey Al-Sheikh. And that call to action was, Turkey, let's make the ring smaller. Let's make the ring smaller. And I thought that was an interesting thing because, number one, he's doing it publicly to try to apply pressure to both of those individuals. Number one, for Terence Crawford to not fight the type of fight that Canelo Alvarez fears he might try to fight. And then number two, to really get himself another advantage, right? And I don't blame him for trying to get another advantage. I think it can be interpreted in so many different ways, Jay. And again, we're going to talk about this in more detail, but you could interpret that as Canelo simply trying to get another advantage as it relates to Terence Crawford. I understand that, right? You can also interpret it as, if you're so confident, why would you even make that comment? Because you're Canelo Alvarez. This is a guy that's moving up essentially 3 weight classes. Right. And he's coming up and he wants to face you. You're the bigger man. You're the stronger man. You got the requisite skills, as you've put it. And here's your opportunity to showcase your skill set against a guy that's moving up. Why do you need another advantage? That could indicate some level of doubt in his mind. And I could understand completely how someone would interpret that. I'm not going to give my opinion on it quite yet because I need to watch it again and really process it. But I thought it was interesting to apply that pressure. Now, will Turkey Al-Sheikh make that change, Jay? I don't know. Clearly, it's not a part of the contract today. My guess is Terence Crawford would not capitulate as it relates to that particular request coming from Canelo Alvarez at this point, because I would imagine contracts have already been signed. So I just think he's trying to apply some pressure because he knows that's not going to change and Turkey's not going to change it. So, Jay, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, you're not the biggest Canelo Alvarez fan, so I don't expect you to say something positive here. What are your thoughts on the fact that Canelo Alvarez requested a smaller ring as it relates to this fight with Terence Crawford?
It's Canelo being Canelo, though. He's always going to have all the advantages. That's what he does. He always does. He picks out who he fights. I don't care what no one says. He ducking David Benavidez. I know that has nothing to do about this video, but he's ducking David Benavidez. But he's going to ask for a smaller ring. He's just going to do that after the last fight because it showed his inability to cut off the ring. So he wants to eliminate his inability to do so. Now, we've never seen Bud be one that be on his bike, be over going around the ring, anything like that. So I don't think Bud is going to do that. I think Bud's going to be smart, do some smart boxing, which may be a more elusive to the best of his ability. He can't do at 37 years old, about to be 38 this year. But I'm not surprised by that. I figured Canelo would already had that in the doggone contract. It would be a 12x12 ring, like last night's card with Top Ring. That ring was like real small. That's the ring that Canelo wants to be in against Bud Crawford. But it'd be to his benefit for a small ring, but at the same time, it's going to see who's the better counterpuncher if they're in small quarters. That's what it's going to come down to, with them being that close.
Is that not Crawford?
Yeah.
Okay. I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
On that. So I mean, it benefits Crawford in that aspect there, but it also makes it where Canelo can just try to beat on you without having to figure out where you're going, because you really don't have nowhere to go. But if anyone watched that fight last night with Top Rank in that small ring, you saw Tucker was able to move around in that ring. That ring was really small, but Tucker was able to be elusive to his fighter when he was fighting Truck Simpson last night. So it's still possible to move around, but I don't think Bud don't really care about that. From what he said, he said only one he's going to be doing is his fist against Canelo's face, and he got a big behind head from what Bud said. So that's what Bud's going to do. Canelo might try to put something else in there as well. Might try to make the ring start getting smaller and smaller with each minute going down. When the doggone phone booth, that might be something Canelo might do, and Turkey might even do it. But I don't know. Turkey seems more to be cool with Bud than Canelo. So Turkey might be like, "Hey, I can't do that. Bud's my guy. I was sitting on his side the other day in the first presser as well, and you said some bad stuff about me, Canelo. So I think I'm gonna keep the ring at 20 by 20, 22 by 22, or whatever. But I don't think the ring size is going to matter too much, because I don't think it's going to get too much smaller than 2020.
Here's my thing. I don't think the ring size is going to matter, not because of anything outside of the way that Terence Crawford actually fights. I've yet to see a Terence Crawford fight outside of Jeff Horn and maybe Victor Postal, where Terence Crawford actually displayed a lot of movement. That's not necessarily Crawford's game. And then when you think about the fact that he will be 20 pounds heavier at that weight class, I just don't foresee Terence Crawford moving a lot like people think he's going to move. I think Terence Crawford will utilize some level of movement. I just don't think it'll be the level of movement that you saw maybe from like a Mayweather or something like that. I think he's gonna selectively pick when he moves. So I think it'll be an interesting fight in that regards. I think the ring side is going to be null and void, and I don't think it's going to really matter in this fight. And
these two fighters.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the fight's going to be won by. We'll tell you once we get ready to do the prediction video what we think the fight is going to be won and how the fight's going to be won. But there will be additional insight in regards to how we see this fight playing out to a degree in the live stream today, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as some other topics as it relates to this fight and other areas of the sport of boxing. So make sure you join us today. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, and we are out.